Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate will hold a campaign rally in Philadelphia today, but first, she has to reveal who that running mate is. Harris spent the weekend interviewing prospective picks, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. The San Diego City Council has unanimously endorsed reparations for African Americans in California, and the San Diego County Board of Supervisors may also be voting on the issue. A new statue of Jackie Robinson is dedicated in Wichita, Kansas. Hundreds of people gathered yesterday to dedicate the new bronze statue portraying the first black player in Major League Baseball. The original statue was stolen and destroyed earlier this year. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A new statue honoring Jackie Robinson, Major League Baseball's first black player, was unveiled Monday afternoon in Wichita, Kansas. The statue was rebuilt and upgraded after it was stolen and vandalized in January. At least 300 people attended the ceremony. Former New York Yankees pitcher C.C. Sabathia and Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City, were among the speakers. Robinson's statue is on display at McAdams Park in Wichita, where more than 600 kids play Little League Baseball. The U.S. men's Olympic basketball team is back on the court today. They take on Brazil in a quarterfinal matchup in Paris. 12:30 p.m. tip-off on NBC and the Peacock Network. The U.S. women's basketball team is back in action Wednesday against Nigeria. The Dodgers beat Philadelphia last night for their third straight win. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettling. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. My first thing today and every day is giving thanks and giving praises and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and keeping it pushing, keeping it moving. Well, talking, actually. That's what we do around here at Stock Radio. And look, this is how it goes. Typically, hour one, we do local, what's going on the left coast. Hour two, we do national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic, person of interest. Today, I will be talking with Kenya Parham, hour three. She is going to tell you about a social media platform you may not be familiar with. And we'll talk a little bit about all these platforms and the implications for the road ahead. Specifically, the road ahead to me right now means the road past and through November 5th. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond as the breaking news is coming down that Vice President Kamala Harris has chosen her running mate, and CNN is reporting, as is Politico, The Hill, I should say, that she has chosen Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. They're going to appear together in a joint rally in Philadelphia today, but it appears that she has made her selection, and, well, I'm kind of happy about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Why do I say that? Because it appears to build on the unity, the astounding unity that we have seen emerge over the past 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. I mean, since we found out that Vice President Harris, really officially it was only this weekend that she got enough delegates to be the nominee. But we found out that Joe Biden was stepping down a little less than 2 weeks ago, and now she is the official contender, and she has a running mate. Walz is the governor of an important state, Minnesota, and he's popular in that region. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on this or anything else. We're probably going to be talking about this. One of the reasons I'm happy about it is because, as I said, unity, there probably won't be a lot of fighting around Walz. We haven't seen the controversy. I'm not sure that the conservatives saw him coming. They were so busy trying to tear down Shapiro and tear down Kelly, both of whom were definitely on the short list. I think they kind of forgot about Walz. The Hill describes him as a dark horse contender, and saying that, he's less famous than Mark Kelly of Arizona or Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. But, he seems to be a good balance to the ticket. He's a favorite of labor. In fact, after receiving the endorsement of the United Auto Workers, which really could have gone either way, a lot of these white voices in labor are not solidly Democrats anymore, if they ever were. Now, several have indicated that they would prefer Walz. Walz is considered pro-labor. He's also a former, teacher, so he definitely is going to be pro-education, and an affable person who also has the ability to attack. That whole weird line of attack comes directly from Governor Walz. Some think it's not effective. I don't agree, because it's definitely getting under Democrats' skin. We got some stuff to talk about here too in Cali. I want to take a look at how San Francisco has decided to deal with the unhoused as a result of the U.S. Supreme Court decision. The extreme court decision, you see that breaking news yesterday. I know, that's for hour two, but Lord have mercy, that Clarence Thomas, it's time to impeach him. Even more trips, more bribes that he's been taking that that were previously undisclosed. But yeah, I do think this is good news for the for the Harris team. We'll see. It seems that he knows how to be the attack dog, which is the job of the vice president. The job is don't overshadow your boss and defend your boss at all times, and also be ready on day one to step in as a president. Walz was in the National Guard for 24 years. He spent 10 years in the House of Representatives and then became governor in 2018. He looks like an old guy, but he's really only a year, actually months, but about a year older than the vice president. I guess he's just had a hard life all that time in the National Guard, and I think it's really being a teacher that probably did it. He's been a supporter of diversity, equity, and inclusion, LOL. He's not a pick that's going to divide the party, and we don't need to be divided. We're trying to do something that's never been done before, which is get a president elected who has only been the candidate, the nominee, for 100 days. Really, officially the nominee for less than that. It would have been 90-something days when she clinched enough delegates to become the nominee. That's something that's never... Well, you know what? I could be wrong about that. I actually haven't looked it up. But as far as I know, we've never elected a president who's been the nominee for less than 100 days. And so we don't need to be squabbling, and there is an urgent... it needs to be an urgent agenda to stay unified and to be disciplined and to understand what makes sense. This guy Walz also is so experienced, in the military, in the federal government as a congressperson, in state government as a governor. Nobody can say that he's not going to be ready on day one to be vice president. He definitely has a kind of appeal that I think we need, in that he's comes across as smart, but just like a nice, regular person. I've never met him. A regular person who knows how to irritate the crap out of Donald J. Trump. Seems like a good combination. The right is already saying he didn't handle COVID correctly. If that's your critique, if that's your line of attack and your candidate is Donald Trump, that's laughable for sure. So it's on, and she will unveil. Of course, it's going to leak. I'm surprised it took this long to leak. It was sort of leaking yesterday, but there wasn't anything confirmable. And I know a lot of you guys wanted to see Mark Kelly, the governor of Arizona, because, military service. Well, Walz has military service too. He's not an astronaut. But being a teacher is kind of like being an astronaut. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. 800-920-1580. And there's another piece of this puzzle, which is chemistry, which reportedly the current vice president has chemistry with this man. So that, and of course that will be revealed as the days and weeks, not too many weeks, come forward. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to weigh in. You can join the YouTube chat and weigh in there on youtube.com, and then type in KBLA 1580. And Terry says, is it official that Governor Walz is the official VP Democratic candidate? Well, I mean, I'm taking these reports from CNN and and from the Hill and from social media, I feel like they've been holding off. It's like people kind of suspected this yesterday. I don't think they would just go out if they didn't have some pretty strong, go out on a limb like that if they didn't have some pretty strong back up for that. He is from the Midwest, which is a plus. And this is kind of, I guess, securing the blue wall. Biden won Minnesota, his state, in 2020 by 7 points. And apparently Republicans haven't won there in 50 years. So it's not, I guess it's not really considered a swing state. But Trump felt like he had a shot there. And I think people, I think it's a good, I just think it's a good thing because he is, his politics are decent. You know, we don't have to have this, we don't have to do this thing where we're pretending that there's some Republican soccer mom somewhere that we're supposed to be appealing to. Instead of dealing with your own voters, activating your likely voters, the Democrats and some progressives who aren't Democrats who will vote for Kamala Harris that might not vote for Biden. If she had picked someone more conservative, those folks, the progressive soccer moms that no one talks about, or soccer moms' kids, right? The progressive college students, that momentum might have been lost. And I think this keeps it going in a way that is helpful. You're invited into this conversation, and as I said, I want to take a look at what's going on in San Francisco, too, with houselessness and update you on some things on the left coast, but certainly we're talking about a California candidate at the top of the Democratic Party ticket who has just now selected her running mate, reportedly, allegedly. So there's a lot to unpack there as well. I'm Dominique DiPrima. 800-920-1580 is your way in to this mic, this radio station. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now. I had my I had my eye on taking a look at what's going on in San Francisco, but I cannot resist the opportunity here to unpack this breaking news that the Minnesota governor will apparently be the pick for vice president. Tim Walz is obviously a Democrat. They say that according to CNN, they're reporting that the staff, Kamala Harris's staff, her team really likes Walz. And she was comfortable with him too, like they have good chemistry. He apparently was a commander in the National Guard, but also a social studies teacher. And he is described as, upbeat, cheerful, joyous, but also a warrior. So all of those things are good. That keeps, from what I've seen, one of the strongest assets right now in this momentum that Vice President Kamala Harris has unexpectedly garnered is that joyfulness, that sense that we can kick some butt and have fun doing it. We don't have to go to a dark place. We can enjoy mopping up the floor with you. Speaking of that, Donald Trump is clearly dodging the debate. He says, he said that I don't want to do an imitation of him because then he'll be seared into my brain. But he says that the agreed upon debate, ABC September 10th, was, quote, terminated when Joe Biden was off the ticket, which is not the truth. But he claims that he has a conflict of interest because he's suing ABC News. When has he ever cared about a conflict of interest? Not the whole time he was in the White House pimping out the Trump Hotel to every diplomat who was in town to try to curry favor with the president, which appears to be unconstitutional, but somehow he got away with it. Anyway, so it looks like it's going to be Tim Walz, but it looks like the president, the 45th president, is dodging that debate. He's saying he'll debate Kamala Harris on Fox News only, September 4th, I believe, is the date. And the crazy thing about it is, he says it's actually, pretty much the same rules that we had on ABC, except it's not the same rules at all, because he wants to go to Fox News with the house packed full of MAGA folks. Though the same rules would mean no audience, no notes. Oh, I would love to see that. The vice president says she'll go on ABC by herself if he don't show up. But clearly he's still running because he's changing the rules. Oh, that what? The one I agreed to on September 10th on ABC? That's terminated. Police terminated. And then you go running to your mommy, little Fox News. Wah. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to Fred calling us from the Crenshaw district. Good morning, Fred. I know you got something to say about this vice presidential.
You know, I do, sister. I'm gonna break it down. You know, the reason why Donald Trump don't want to appear on September 4th, because he is coming against a war fighter. Kamala Harris, she will mop the floor with him. Look at her record. District Attorney, California State Attorney General, U.S. Senator, Vice President. And as you know, Fox News is a Republican station, so he had agreed to meet Kamala Harris on September 4th. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to do his own show, and if Kamala Harris has to appear by herself September 4th, well, so be it. You ever know what state they're going to be in?
Do I know what state what's going to be in?
Do you know what state that Kamala Harris will have the debate September 4th? You know, they usually have different states.
Well,
they decided
I don't know the private terms of Trump's special deal with Fox News. It's probably around. I can look it up, but I don't know it off the top of my head because I know that the vice president is not going to that debate. She already said I'll be there as agreed on ABC September 10th. Trump has said if Kamala Harris doesn't show up, he'll just have a town hall meeting by himself on Fox News.
I hate to say it, but the man is a jackass. If he gets to office, have you heard about Project 2025? He said, I don't know nothing about it. He came up with the Heritage Foundation, and one of his, I call flunkies, is going to be Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows, as you know, was the chief of staff for Trump. But we got to go with my sister, Kamala Harris, and then the three women from the black journalist organization invited him to come on. He said he did not know that she was black. Oh, that is just crazy. You know, look how he did Barack Obama talk about he was not a citizen.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what he does, which makes him hard to debate, actually, because he just lies. The prevaricating president, to use the Trumpian label. But look, it's in Pennsylvania is where they're saying it would take place with a full arena audience. And with Brett Baier and Martha McCallum of Fox News anchoring that. But, to me, that's an indication he is simply scared. He don't want to face her.
I am so happy for Sister Kamala Harris. My union 721, we're going to back her up. But one of the things I'm going to suggest to Channel My News that I think she should have a campaign headquarters in the Lamar Park area. If they do that, I will let you know, because I live out in the Glen Halls of Park. I ain't too far from the Lamar Park. I would be glad to call up and work the phones. I maybe on the days that I'm on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, maybe do 2-3 hours, because we got to get the sister in the door. This is a top priority. I know you got a lot of calls lined up. You're a great co-host, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to try to get on next Tuesday.
All right, Fred. It is a Talking Point Tuesday. If I didn't mention it, this is where we try to debunk and break down the things that come in and out of our heads, the things we repeat. We hear them. Sometimes we don't know where we got them. And many, many instances, we fail to really analyze them. Why am I saying that? What does it mean? Oh, the talking points are flying right now on social media. And Dr. Umar made a post about why Kamala Harris isn't black. He calls it Snow Bunny Crisis, and he's got pictures of Barack Obama, Drake, Kamala Harris, and somebody else. I can't remember who the other person is, another light-skinned person. Only one of those persons on that picture does not have a white parent. I wonder who that could be. Where's the snow bunny in that family tree? That would be the VP. News, traffic, and sports and more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Welcome to a Tuesday. It's August 6th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to unveil her running mate today. The anticipated announcement comes after Harris met with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz over the weekend. Crypto.com Arena is unveiling another honor for late Lakers legend African-American Kobe Bryant. The entrance, formerly known as the 11th Street entrance, is now called the Kobe Bryant entrance. He now has 2 statues outside the arena. The American Red Cross says there's an extreme shortage of blood across the nation. Last month, extreme heat impacted blood drives across the country, resulting in a 25% decrease in blood donations. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways around LA County so you can enjoy more time with family, friends, and doing things that matter to you. Visit SoCal511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A new statue honoring Jackie Robinson, Major League Baseball's first black player, was unveiled Monday afternoon in Wichita, Kansas. The statue was rebuilt and upgraded after it was stolen and vandalized in January. At least 300 people attended the ceremony. Former New York Yankees pitcher C.C. Sabathia and Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City, were among the speakers. Robinson's statue is on display at McAdams Park in Wichita, where more than 600 kids play Little League Baseball. The U.S. men's Olympic basketball team is back on the court today. They take on Brazil in a quarterfinal matchup in Paris. 12:30 p.m. tip-off on NBC and the Peacock Network. The U.S. women's basketball team is back in action Wednesday against Nigeria. The Dodgers beat Philadelphia last night for their 3rd straight win. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys. Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet? Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and Sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys?
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse Limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. I'm always grateful. You know, I never take you for granted. And 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. MJ Scott in the YouTube chat said that was the real good Fred. And Terry says he's going to volunteer for the Kamala Harris Tim Walz campaign. Courtney Edward, Selena says, I was feeling less enthusiastically about this election. Crap is getting on my nerves. Who is Tim Walz? I hear you, West Abdullah. Well, hey, you know, like I said, Dr. Melina Abdullah is my friend and colleague, and I'm a big admirer of her work, despite some, you know, rhetoric from people who are, well, that's another conversation for another day. She does amazing work. Dr. Cornel West, towering intellectual, author, and generally brilliant man. I feel like we need to defeat Trump. That's where I'm coming from. And I think that Kamala Harris, I've said this before she ascended to be the top of the Democratic ticket, I feel like she would be a better president than Biden or Trump on day one. And, you know, everyone's celebrating the Biden presidency right now because he did the right thing and stepped down. And he has accomplished some great things. I'm not going to take that away from him. But there are things, well, he's more of a traditionalist, you know. And so, and he represents another era. So it's time for change. She's the right person at the right time. I really believe it might be her destiny. It certainly has been her destiny to go from district attorney in San Francisco all the way up to the top of the Democratic Party ticket before the age of 60, which is quite remarkable for a black woman. I don't think she'll win unless we do some serious work in fighting. I don't think it's a given. I do believe when we fight, we win, and this could be a 15-round fight. And I think your question, who is Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota? I know you didn't mean that literally, but the thing about it is he's not famous, to your point. He's not a household name, but he's got so many qualities that will help Vice President Kamala Harris win and also govern. Win and govern. He's, I don't know if I'd call him a progressive, but he's definitely not a full centrist. He's left of center. He's popular with labor. He's a former football coach, a National Guard commander. You can look at his response after George Floyd, where, yes, he did call the National Guard, but he was criticized for taking too long to do so. A football coach, a veteran who sat on Veterans Affairs, a 10-year congressman, and former high school teacher who's married to a teacher. And you're right, Paul Lee. Paul Lee says they need to talk about universal school meals for our children. It's a very important issue. That's because Governor Tim Walz instituted that in Minnesota. We have it here in California. Most states don't. What does that mean? It means any kid who shows up to public school is eligible for a free meal, or two if they do breakfast and lunch, without any shame. So it's not only the food stamp kids go in that line, you know, kids whose mamas can afford new shoes for them go in this line. All of the shaming and stuff that was associated with those free school meals in the past is gone when you do universal lunches. And it is important because so many children are living with hunger, and you really can't learn. You cannot learn with, I mean, you can, but you can't learn at the same level with an empty stomach. And the fact that that was one of the powerful things we saw even during the emergency stage of the pandemic, that then LAUSD Superintendent Austin Butner and the UTLA, the teachers union here, and those teachers stepped up to make sure that the children were fed, that they had the meals available to them every single day, even when school was closed. And of course, that's the rap on Governor Walz, supposedly, is that he took too strict of measures for COVID. Boo-hoo, Crimea River. This is a guy who is has very much been championed by labor. Sean Fain, who's the head of the United Auto Workers, who has already endorsed Kamala Harris for president, said he said, look, the vice president will make her choice. Whatever choice she makes, we're going to roll with her. That's her decision. But also said we would love Tim Walz to be the choice. I mean, labor is celebrating. If there were some unions that were on the fence, this definitely is going to shore up that support behind VP Harris. I'm still mad about the way unions were represented at the Republican National Committee, because it's BS at their convention. Let's go to Willie calling us from Palmdale. The reason I say it's BS is they do everything they can to smash unions. They don't raise the minimum wage. They union bust, and then they try to act hi, Willie. They try to act like they're the working man's champion when they're which they're not. Go ahead, Willie.
Sorry. I just want to ask you about AB 886. Is that going to be on the ballot, or is that just for California?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have the, but if it's an assembly bill, that's California. Which bill? What bill is that number? A86 Assembly Bill what? 86?
Yes, 886. Supposed to be for journalists.
I'm not familiar with it, but I'll certainly find out. But if it's an assembly bill, that's California, because some states don't have assemblies. They have assembly persons. They have, whatever they call their people, delegates or whatever. California AB 86, existing law establishes previous programs to address homelessness. That is listed as the create statewide homelessness coordinator. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was about journalists. I was wondering.
I'm not familiar. So this AB 86 is apparently held up in committee right now, but I don't know which one you're talking about. What would it do to journalists? I should be paying attention if it's for journalists.
Yes, it's AB 886.
Oh, there's two. Okay. What is it meant to do?
Yes.
You said it's for journalists. What is it meant to do? Because Journalism Preservation Act. Oh, yeah, I do know about that. I just didn't recognize the name. So the Journalism Preservation Act is meant to force the big tech companies, the Googles and such, to pay for the news that they post on their sites. It's a nominal fee. They're not actually paying a lot of money. But similar to what they did in Canada and France, where they force the big tech companies that are like parasites sucking off the free press to put 5 on it, so that those newspapers can stop closing down. And I think it's a great idea as long as it's well executed. I believe that even television and radio outlets should pay a small fees. I know radio station owners and TV station owners don't want to hear this, but I'm talking about something small, similar to like what ASCAP and BMI, how we pay for music, because we utilize the work of print journalists. We read, all of us look at papers and websites, and we're quoting and gathering news on our own, but we're also quoting and gathering a lot of news from print journalists, and that costs money. That costs money for them to generate that news. So this is meant to force the tech companies to pay their fair share for news gathering. It didn't go so well in France. The bill ended up being co-opted. It was a national bill. It ended up helping some folks and not others. And the one in Canada was better result, but it was limited. I think at 3 or 5 years, the deals that they cut. So now, once those sunset, what will cause Google and others who use Facebook and others who use the news, what will force them to renegotiate these deals with the local papers, probably, or national papers? Probably nothing. What Facebook initially did was they stopped posting any news. And the thing that, embarrassed them or maybe brought them to the table was the fact that there were those huge wildfires in Canada, if you remember, and people really needed the news in real time. And the fact that Facebook was blocking Canadian news because they didn't want to pay for it made them look like predatory capitalists. So that's, I think, the reason they relented and signed the deal. But, if we don't have a massive wildfire crisis, and now this negotiations have been turned over to private hands. We'll see. That is only California, by the way, to answer your question.
So it's going to be on the ballot.
My understanding is yes, although it doesn't say that on Google. Surprise, surprise. It would, yeah. It looks like it is going to be on the ballot from what I can see. Regulates online platforms by requiring on a semi-annual basis, as specified, a social media company to submit to the Attorney General the terms of service report, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it looks like it is on the ballot. Thanks, Willie, for bringing that to our attention. You can't just pop up on a bill number, because I don't have them memorized like that. But if you tell me the name of the bill, oh, yeah, I know that bill. And, of course, we'll be talking about that more and more as we get ourselves ready. We still got a couple months to get ready. Some of the stuff I've been looking up, they don't even have it yet. But I appreciate your bringing that to my attention, and that is something I would definitely vote yes on. I plan to vote yes on that. For sure. The Journalism Preservation Act sounds like a no-brainer. Willie, appreciate your call. Willie called 800-920-1580. You can do the same. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding a path to a meaningful career, one where you're making an impact and making enough money, it can be tough. There's one path, though, that many young adults are landing on that leads them to careers where they can work outdoors, protect our environment, take on climate change, and get paid while they train. It's the California Conservation Corps. You just have to be 18 through 25 years old to enroll, or a U.S. military veteran through age 29, and you have to be a California resident. That's it. There's no education requirement, no employment history needed. Some Corps members need to finish up high school. Others are college grads. But during their 1 year of service, all CCC Corps members can earn the work experience and certifications needed to become a wildland firefighter, forestry technician, install solar, or build trails in our state parks. Learn how you can enroll at ccc.ca.gov. Do this for you. Become the person you want to be through the California Conservation Corps.
What if the conversation about menopause and bladder leaks didn't have to be a secret? Always Discreet helps you embrace this new chapter with confidence, offering a bladder leak solution that keeps you worry-free. Its rapid dry cord quickly locks away even the biggest gushes with up to 0 leaks, 0 wet feel, and 0 odor, so you can jump, dance, sneeze, and laugh uninterrupted. Everyday protection for every level of leak. We've got you, always. Try Always Discreet today.
Help prevent gun violence tragedies. Gun violence restraining orders can help to prevent individuals at risk of harming themselves or others by removing their guns for 21 days up to 5 years. Learn more about how to petition for a GVRO and the role of GVROs in safeguarding communities by visiting lacountygvro.org or by calling 1-833-540-0473. GVROs can save lives.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Have you noticed the hype around retinol lately? It's all over my social media. But did you know you can get retinol in a body wash? Amazing, right? Olay Retinol Body Wash is packed with moisturizing vitamin B3 complex plus retinol to transform dry skin to visibly renewed in just 14 days. Try it the next time you shower and see the difference for yourself with Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. And try Olay Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
I love the YouTube chat. You guys are off the hook. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have another Amnesty Day today. What do you say, Miles? Okay, final hour of the show, maybe? Yeah. Since we have these big breaking news going on right now, because we do have one of our Republican friends stopping in next hour. Let's go to Angela calling us from LAX. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
Good, good. How you doing?
I'm all right out here on the grind at LAX doing my construction work.
Okay, well, thank you for your service. Is that what we say to construction workers? I don't know what we say. I feel like they're building. It's not, or really, what I should say is, can you hurry up? Because LAX is such a mess.
I know we're trying our best. Trust me.
Yeah, can you just speed it up a little bit? Did you see that article about in the LA Times about the LA exit, the shuttle system? I guess we'll call it a system. I didn't need the article. It's terrible. And you know that. I'm pretty sure you know that. And I know it's not your fault, but...
It is trouble, but they're trying to make things better. You know, they run into a lot of hurdles and problems and things they got to go back and do. But, you know, they're going to get it together for sure.
Okay, all right. If you say so, Angela, you're on the ground there. You're one of the workers. We're going to love it so much when it's done. We'll forget all about LA Exit, the torturous.
That's that right. You're going to love it.
Okay, all right. I'm trusting you on this, Angela. Don't disappear on me if it doesn't work out. All right, I know that's not why you called. What did you call about?
I'm calling because I'm glad that Kamala Harris picked the guy that's for the school system. He's for education. He's for the laborers. He's for unions and stuff like that. I'm really glad she did that because he understands the needs and the quality of stuff that we need.
Yeah, I think it's the portfolio, you know, as we talked about his experience, 10 years as a congressman, 26, I think, years in the National Guard, which he joined at 17, 10 years as governor. He's won in a state, you know, where he doesn't always have a broad majority. And a lot of times he's passing legislation with a very slim majority, and he's able to do it. He's known to be a consensus builder. He's gotten a lot of things done. He's governed, nationally, statewide, and inside of a school system. So, you know, I feel like it's a good pick. Paul Lee is saying that Josh Shapiro was his number one choice. He says, I have my reasons. Hopefully he'll call and say. But I do think it's true that with this short of a vetting process, there has to be chemistry. You've got to have sign-off from people that are important constituencies. And there has to be, you don't want to have to fight through controversy. You don't want somebody that's going to divide your base. And so, you know, and I think in Walz, even though he doesn't have the name recognition, yeah, Selena says, well, an old white guy who looked like Biden threw me for a minute, except for that Tim Walz is 60 and Biden is 81.
Right, big difference.
Yeah, it's a different generation, actually. It's a completely different generation. You know, you ain't going to see Tim Walz, you know, Biden did a good job as president, but you ain't going to see Tim Walz, you know, walking slowly and talking slowly. He's 60 years old, and he's quite vibrant. He just looks old.
Right.
He's, you know, black don't crack, so. And he ain't black.
Because I'm 63 and I work a lot of the workers I work with.
Really?
They're way younger than me. I run amok of them.
Well, I bet you do. You probably over there like me telling them to hurry up.
Exactly.
So I can see, that's an interesting point, Selena. I can see how people are, you know, that aren't familiar with Walz and are going just off of looks. Josh Shapiro or an Andy Bashir looks young and, you know, but actually there was only a few years difference. It was, 7 or 8 years difference between them and Walz. And so I believe that a lot of the folks that are worried about it right now are going to, and I'm not including Paul in this because Paul is always well read. I believe that they will probably come around and maybe even be enthusiastic when they see this guy on the stump. I think he's going to be fire as a campaigner.
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get reelected governor and reelected to Congress. That doesn't happen without you being a good campaigner, especially in a state that's not heavily blue. Plus, he's from the country. I think graduated high school with a class of 25. You know, he was born in Nebraska, raised in Minnesota. He's got that, you know. Selena Riggs says, I know, Dominique. First look, he looked 80. Yeah, but you're putting black aesthetics on an older white man. You know what I mean?
What?
But you know, I feel like it's a wise choice. on the vice president's part. Yeah, she's not taking this moment to say, I got some, I'm F my critics. She's not having that moment. She's having a moment of reflection. And apparently she went out with someone that has good chemistry with her, which is good because she's going to have to deal with this person, not just for the campaign, but for the next 4 years, we hope.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your call, Angela, and I appreciate you making those slow younger people hurry up and finish that doggone airport stuff for us.
All right, you have a great day.
All right, and you as well. News, traffic, and sports. And then we're doing the Talking Point Tuesday thing, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Welcome to a Tuesday. It's August 6th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to unveil her running mate today. The anticipated announcement comes after Harris met with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz over the weekend. Crypto.com Arena is unveiling another honor for late Lakers legend African-American Kobe Bryant. The entrance, formerly known as the 11th Street entrance, is now called the Kobe Bryant entrance. He now has 2 statues outside the arena. The American Red Cross says there's an extreme shortage of blood across the nation. Last month, extreme heat impacted blood drives across the country, resulting in a 25% decrease in blood donations. And that's the